I'm live. Is it happening? What time is it? 9:59. Oh, this color eyeshadow is not working in this lighting. Wow. Okay, but it's too late now. It's almost time. Well, let me at least give it some help before we get started. At least I'll have a lip. There we go. All right, we're not starting. Oh no, it's 10 o'clock. I have to start. Hi, I'm Michelle from Unicorn Centaur, and welcome to the weekly live stream where we make stuff for our horses and ourselves and our loved ones and learn new skills and do stuff. And we also chat about horse stuff tonight. We're going to talk about gruesome horse injuries. And there's a reason for that. If you don't follow me on Instagram, or you're not my personal friend or in the Facebook group Extra Equestrians, tonight's news may be a bit of a shock. So content warning, I guess, for anyone tuning in tonight. We're going to talk about some graphic things. Horses get themselves into scrapes constantly. And while we're doing that, I am going to be painting the other side of this saddle pad. This is an old, obviously stained saddle pad that I had. And in a previous live stream, I did this side. And so this is dog gur. And on this side, I'm going to do robot gur. Let me get into the chat. I'm going to need to look at my reference picture though. A second. I guess I could be in the chat here. Hey, oh, your pony has thrush. I've been battling that with Sunny. It's been super wet here and really rainy, and his feet have just been so stinky and ugh. Excuse me. I went to Tractor Supply and got some of the purple stuff. So I've had to do it more than once though. Usually you dab that on, it's fine. But Hannah's here. Hey. All right, I'm gonna try to get in the chat on my phone. Okay, so yeah, I am going to. So again, if you're watching this on a playback, this is a live stream. I'm going to be chatting with the people in the live chat, and so it's not edited or anything like that. Tonight, it's just going to happen like it's going to happen. I've got my pencil. Also, let me show this off first before we get started. My husband Scott got me this for Christmas. It's a pencil sharpener. I love pencils. I love writing with pencils. I love drawing with pencils, and it's removable. You can take this out and put so I can go to the dollar store and get a dozen of these little cheap ones, and it's really heavy and it's metal, and I don't know, can we show how it rocks? Now you're in my lap. No, I just want to show it's a rocking horse. I guess there was an easier way to show that. I'm not on top of my game today. We'll talk about it. Yeah, thrush. Thrush is pretty gross. Now, I worry about thrush because I never did before until I saw pictures of what can happen when thrush really eats into the horse's hoof. And ever since then, I've been super paranoid. Every time I smell it on Sunny, I'm like, eh. Oh, and here's my Artax wine glass that Adriana painted for me, which, she'll do one for you if you want. Cheval Noir Studios, dang it. Hey, and Joanna's here. Got to go call your bestie. Well, that clearly takes precedence. That is important. So I may leave the phone chat for a second while I sketch myself a robot gur. I can still see you guys here. Where are my glasses? I can keep up with the chat. Here, I guess I need to dump the news on people who aren't on Instagram or on Facebook. If you only follow me on YouTube, if you only know me from here, or if you're new, I have news. Yesterday, Artax injured his eye. I got a text from my barn person who said his eye was weeping, and I guess I don't need my glasses for this, but I went out there and he had it looked like his eye was cracked. It had almost a hole in it and these cracks going out from it. And my other horse, Sunny, lost his eye a couple years ago, and he has adapted beautifully and wonderfully, but I never thought I would have to go through this again. We don't know how he did it. I called the vet immediately. Fortunately, he was in the area and he came quickly, but we couldn't save his eye. I don't know. See, I tried to hide my eye bags, but I spent all day yesterday just off and on crying. Artax is recovering now. He's okay, but we lost his right eye. I now have two one-eyed horses. So if you're not on Instagram, I mean, everything's public. You can look up Unicorn and Centaur. I posted pictures on Instagram and in the Facebook group Extra Equestrians. There should be links in the description box if anybody wants pictures of Artax and what happened. So I've had a really bad day. This wasn't even originally what I planned to do for the live stream tonight, but because of what happened yesterday, I'm like, you know what? This is what we're doing. um, I was going to do patterns with everybody. We were going to deconstruct a saddle pad and talk about doing measurements and making paper patterns for designing your own saddle pads. But I could not deal with a project of that level this week. We're pushing that to next week. So today I am just painting the other side of this saddle pad while we talk about gruesome horse injuries, because Artax, I have a one-eyed unicorn now. Y'all, he's not going to be pretty anymore. I mean, he's pretty, but I feel so vain thinking about it like that. When I went to see him today, he had been in the stall all night. And when I brought him outside, he was just kind of startling at everything because everything looks so different now to him. Like it's all familiar, but different. And then being outside, once he got kind of used to the way things looked and moving his head around, he was so happy and just like trotting around me in a circle, like Arabians at the halter shows. Have you seen the videos of the Arabians that just like snorting with their heads up and just trotting with their tails up and look so pretty? And he was doing that all around me. But I am absolutely heartbroken about this. So for future unicorn videos, I may paint like a silver scar over his eye socket or something. But that's after he recovers. My God. Anyway. Oh, Zadel's here. Hey. I know. Yeah. All right. Hang on. Zadel. Hey, I don't know if you saw the post in Extra Equestrians about Artax. Losing his eye. It was quite dramatic yesterday. So I thought maybe today, if anybody has really horrifying, gruesome horror stories, they could let us know. Lauren, who sometimes is in the chat, was telling me today about an injury our vet, my vet, Dr. Myron, personally saw, and it was a horse that had been chased by dogs and ran into a forklift. And I think the horse survived, but apparently it was extremely horrifying. Like it went into if it had gone a little bit further into the horse's chest, it would have impaled the whole horse, but instead just like kind of took the shoulder. Yes, he'll be one-eyed unicorn. I will have my one-eyed unicorns, you guys, my life. And the vet was like, this is crazy, but this is just happens sometimes. It's just weird that it happened to both of your horses. Like what? A hoof stand impaled in the horse's side. Did the horse survive? Maybe I should clarify. Maybe I only want survival stories. I don't know if I want like grotesque death stories. I want to know like injuries that a horse came back from. When Artax gashed his head open, that looked pretty gnarly. But yeah, oh my God, you guys, before I get to even drawing the thing, when the vet had Artax's eye after the surgery, and this was the grossest part, and there was still sort of like tissue around it, so it was like a marble inside this little tissue envelope, and so he was trying to show me the injury. So when he's moving it around a little, it looked kind of like it was like the eyeball itself was stationary while he moved it, and it looked kind of like when you have a compass and you move your hand, but the ball of it stays on true north. It was a little bit stomach churning, and then you could see the injury. So the vet is like taking a scalpel, and he's like, "See the injury right here?" He touched the scalpel to the eyeball, and it popped and squirted everywhere, and I almost died. This isn't even wine. This is like discount Crystal Light, y'all. But it was pretty gruesome. My poor baby. Yes. I don't think I could talk about what Copper went through. Yeah, let's not do sad, gruesome stories. Let's do gruesome stories where we almost puked and died, but then the horse was okay. Maybe I should clarify that. All right, I really do want to sketch this Gur robot. So I'm going to leave the phone chat for a second. So if somebody has a grotesque story, go for it. Here's what I'm going to do. Oh, wait, I don't have to go online. Hang on. I go to my I'm Generation X. I don't smartphone very well. I'm really kind of stupid about it. Hang on. This is what I'm doing. I've still got a little window of chat, but here's what I'm going to do. We're going to do robot Gur on the other side. So I want to kind of sketch this guy. I need to hold this up. Excuse me. Y'all have to scoot back for just a second so I can put my phone up here, okay? Okay, hi. So I'm going to sketch over here. Let's sort of make... I am sketching a little bit of I made a line here and here, so I'm going to keep my drawing within that area. I'm just going to kind of freehand it. What's my highest point over here? That's that little Dumafletchy. See, I really like the way the other one turned out, the other side, and I'm afraid that this side's going to be dumb. That's my biggest fear, is that this side is going to be dumb. And I'm going to have to admit that I don't know how to do anything. Okay, hang on. Did it go down that far? Okay, hang on. Do I have enough room for his little body? Lord. Oh, no, I don't. Do I have an eraser? Where's my little owl eraser? Okay, you guys. Gotta help with popping some solar abuses. And like when I was swiped with a knife, it popped like a pimple. Oh, abscesses. Oh yeah, abscesses are nasty when they drain. I don't mind seeing them in real life and popping things like that in real life, but I can't watch the videos of it. You know, there are people who watch pimple popper and whatever videos. I can't. Okay, so I need some more. I need Gur's leg down here, and I need his eye. That looks a little more like it. I'm going to paint over this, of course. Okay. Then he has this giant eye. And then he has this other giant eye. And his little mouth. Doot, doot, doot. Okay, little neck. And here's his body, which is just like his head. Shoulders. Oh, that leg is too far over. Okay, I gotta like close myself out of here. No. Ooh. I hope people are still in the chat and haven't like totally left me alone. I need you guys, please. I'm almost done with my little Gur. Almost done with my little Gur. He's good. Okay. I don't know if you can even see him. So I've got his little, there's his body, and there's his little head, and there's, the eyes don't look right. I'm going to change the eyes. I have to change the eyes. So a solar abscess. A solar abscess is one, I think, on the sole of the hoof. Is that right? Okay. I hope this looks like Gur. Okay. I might have to throw down some paint at this point. I'm still not happy with the eyes. I'm working on the eyes, you guys. I'm also working on some angles. Uh, so yeah, abscesses. Fortunately, my horses have not had abscesses. I just had a problem with Artax that around Thanksgiving when he colicked. So fortunately, I didn't have to pay a vet bill that time because it was all phone. Like the vet just taught me through stuff over the phone. And so I was like, woo, I dodged that vet bill. I'm doing great. That's awesome. Okay. I think maybe I can mix up some paint now and talk to you guys again for a minute on the phone. Hang on, let me take a break. Woo, look at that. There's my robot girl. Painting this is pretty much it's just teal and gray and black. That's all it is. Do we have Zim fans? Solar's in the sun. I did too. That's why it took me a second when I was reading his comment. I'm like, solar, what? I'm like, where has Zadel gone? Is he out in the atmosphere talking about solar eclipses or whatever? And then I was like, no, wait, abscesses. Okay. And then okay, I got it now. I got it. Sometimes it takes me a minute. Y'all be patient with me, please. I'm not even drinking alcohol tonight. Puppy injured her tail. Oh no. Oh no, I had a cat that broke its tail once. Where's my paint? He had gotten it caught in something, and then the two vertebrae in the tail had separated. And we didn't realize what had happened, but like the end of his tail was kind of hanging limply. And we were like, oh, maybe he'll get over it. And we waited a couple days, and then we noticed like the end of the tail was dying. And we were like, okay. So we took him to the vet, and the vet was like, yeah, this is a fairly common injury with cats. And they said sometimes, or usually though, the vertebrae will separate at the base of the tail, and then it affects the cat's like bowel and bladder function, and the cat has to be euthanized. But fortunately for us, our kitty's injury was in the middle of his tail. So he had half his tail amputated, and the rest of his life, his tail was just kind of like this. He's a little half tail. It wasn't like a cat tailed like this, but it wasn't like a little nubby stump either. It was just kind of like a finger. He had like a finger tail. Use a lot of vet terms. I know. Well, yeah, it takes me a second. I have to do that with my vet. I'm like, wait, hang on. Slowly, please. Copper had a scare with her eye. Pink eye. Aw. That's good, though. I'm in a Facebook group called Horse Vet Corner, and only the approved vets in the group can answer. You can't comment on anything unless you're a vet. So it's like a learning thing. You just sort of sit and observe posts in there. And on all the eye posts, all the vets say eyes are always emergencies. And after having two of them myself with both my horses, I can definitely see, yeah, as soon as I see something with the eye now, I'm like calling my doctor, calling their doctor, not my doctor. Yes, let me mix up some gray paint to paint myself some Gur. The pet doctor, yes. All right, I'm going back to my Gur picture. Hang on. There we go. I'm putting my thing up here. Excuse me, and I'm burping. This isn't carbonated. I'm not drinking alcohol. What is going on? Okay, so I need like 2 shades of gray. We don't need 50 shades of gray. We just need, actually, it looks like it's going to be 3 shades. There's a darker shade underneath even. So let's start with a white. A white? Oh my God, Karen, you just can't ask people why they're white. Okay. Let's see what color we get when we do that. Where is give me a little paint mix there. Right, so I'm finally finishing this saddle pad. I think 1 or 2 of you were here last year when I started this and did the original. Oh no, that is way too dark. Why is my light? I put 2 drops of black paint in this. Why is my light? Look at that. That's ridiculous. How dare you? The audacity of the 2 drops of this black paint. Like, my God. Okay, let's try this again. Let's just take some from that and put it in that. Try that. We're going to be cautious this time. We're going to be very, very cautious. It looks so cool and trippy. I wish you could see that close up. Cool. This is still looking pretty aggressive. No, this might work for my... I'll never get this shade again. Yes, I will. Be positive, Michelle. Wow. Okay. Okay, so I've got a fairly light shade of gray there. That's good. If you remember from the last live stream where I did this, it took me at least 2 coats of paint. It was like 2 or 3 coats of paint to get it. So I probably won't get it all on here today. If you love gruesome horse injuries where horses get better, go follow Prince Fluffy Kareem. It's an Egyptian horse rescue. Prince, as in, Prince of Egypt. Fluffy, like a fluffy unicorn. And then Kareem, Kareem. And I think they're on Instagram as well. But they're a horse rescue in Egypt. And they do... Are you kidding me? I just dropped paint. Why? It's on the chair. I can't with myself. Why am I like this? Scott, can you come here, please?
Yes, the disembodied voices.
Shh. Just stay over there. Don't come too close. Shh. Will you go get me like a Tupperware lid or something that I can mix paint in?
Ooh.
Thank you.
Wow.
You didn't notice. Oh my God, it's all the way up the chair. Where did it go? Where did it go, you guys? It's what have I done? Wait, no, I found it. Wow. Nothing. Thank you. That's perfect.
Fabulous.
That's perfect. Now I can mix paint. Now I have something to mix paint on where I didn't a few seconds ago. Thank you, Scott. I'm afraid to look back behind this chair. There's like a whole streak of paint up the side, 2 streaks of gray paint. And then it goes back down. I'm just going to leave it there. I can't. I can't with myself. I'm going to clean it up after the live stream. Oh my God, it's so embarrassing. I'm choking on it. Why am I like this? Something always happens on a live stream. Something dumb always happens. It was a good color too. And now I have to do it again. Dang it. All right. What did we learn, kids? First of all, we learned not to be a spaz. Second of all, we learned that it doesn't take much of the black paint. So, look, I can get more in this anyway. This is important. 1 dot. Color mixing. Yes. I was just like, oh, I'll never get this shade again. No, I'm all good. It's going to be great. Okay. This might be good. This might be good. I've got kind of a gray color here. Yes, I've got a light gray. Is that the light gray I'm looking for? I'm looking at the picture right in front of me. Maybe. Hang on. Gotta just make sure it's not all streaky. There we go. Okay. Carefully, we're gonna do this. Carefully, Michelle. Wow, y'all. Okay. But wait, I can't. I still have wet paint over here on the chair. Hang on, I do have to clean this up. This chair's just gonna have paint on it now. That's just what it is. This is an artist chair in an artist room, and now there are gray streaks on it, and I meant to do that. Don't you wish you had a chair with artistic gray streaks on it? All right. So I need a paintbrush for this endeavor. This one looks like fun. Ow. English and hunter jumper saddles are weird. I love them. I love the seat in an English saddle. I do. I can't help it. I grew up riding Western, but oh, anyway, before I spilled paint everywhere and just made a fool of myself. Was talking about Prince Fluffy Kareem, and it's a horse rescue in Egypt. And the whole reason that I started following them a couple years ago was an injury I saw that they just freaking treated with salt water and honey, I think. It was insane. A horse had bitten another horse on the neck, right? This is how it started. Just two horses in the pasture, right? One bit the other one right on the crest of the neck. And then the bite got infected. Super infected. And nobody noticed because it was like under the mane, nobody noticed this infection growing until they started smelling the horse. And there was it had developed this infection all underneath the mane on one side of the neck. It had eaten into the tissue. And when they cleaned away all the dead tissue, there was a hole in the horse's neck. It was crazy looking. It was nasty looking. Like they had a video showing the flesh on the inside and everything. It was absolutely insane. I don't know how this horse was still like, what? And they debrided all the dead flesh. They washed it with like saline solution, and then they put honey on it. And now you go to the site and they've got pictures. This horse is healed. There's still a hole in the freaking horse's neck, but it's all healed up around. And you can see videos of the horse like trotting around the paddock, like, look at me. I'm a happy horse now. And you're like, oh my God. It was really amazing. They do really amazing things with animals. I can't stop saying amazing about Prince Fluffy Kareem. But if you want to see some incredible injuries and watch the rehabilitation of these horses, it is incredible. Now, with Artax, we could have made an attempt to save his eye, but the vet said afterwards, if you weren't here for this gruesome story earlier, I got to watch Artax's eye pop. His eye was injured really terribly. And after that, when the vet was showing me afterwards and it pretty much exploded, he said, yeah, that would not have survived treatment. So even if we had tried to treat it, it very likely would have ruptured very quickly, despite surgery, despite which there is a surgery that we could have tried. And there are ophthalmic drugs that we could have tried as well. But the treatment involves him being in a stall 24 hours a day and having a special system implanted in his eye, and he has to have it covered so that he can't rub it on things. And it's extremely involved, and the horse doesn't understand the treatment. It lasts for weeks. I don't know. It was so much to put everybody through. And then if you like go through all those measures, there's no guarantee that you're going to succeed. And it was just, anyway, you can see, and if you're, again, if you want to see pictures, I posted some on Instagram and on the Extra Equestrian Group. I should be holding this up so y'all can see me work. Here we go. That's better. There we go. We'll do some, I'm surprised I'm not like knocking things over. All I'm doing is laying down some gray and then just kind of making it even. I can't wait to ride with this. I think it'll be fun. I haven't watched Invader Zim in a while. It's probably time to binge that again while I'm crocheting things. Lately, I've been binge watching Forensic Files. So other horrific injuries I've seen. One of my friends recently, her horse injured himself in the neck and it got infected, and he kept pulling things out. It had to get like a drain. The drains, when they put drains into horses' wounds, that's pretty gnarly. That's like, rah, gross. Okay, I'm afraid I am going to get the wrong shape around these eyes. It looks kind of white on camera. It's really coming off white. Maybe my second coat will be a little bit darker. I don't know. When I get it completely finished, I will post finished pictures on Instagram and in the Extra Equestrians group. Just laying down some color. Just laying down some color. Let's go back over here. So, yeah, see pictures of a horse pull both hind hoof capsules off. What? Oh, when they pull the whole thing off and you can see like the ribbed whatever that's called. You'll know, Zadel, where it almost looks like a filter of some kind. Where it's just it looks so creepy to me. I've seen it. I can't look at that. It's the inner anatomy of a horse's hoof gives me the willies. Anytime I see serious hoof injuries where like the entire capsule's been pulled off or a heel has been sheared off or whatever, or oh God, I'm just like, bleh. I don't know if I could be a farrier or a vet. I was telling my vet that too when yesterday because I told him I used to want to be a vet. I love animals so much. I've loved animals my whole entire life. And when I was a little girl, I wanted to be a vet so much. I wanted to be an animal doctor and snuggle animals and give them pills and shots and make them feel better and all that kind of stuff. And then one day when I was like 8 years old, my dog had something wrong with her butt. And we took her to the vet, and the vet expressed her anal glands. Just took a paper towel and squeezed my dog's butthole, and stuff squirted out. And I almost threw up on the vet's floor. And ever since that day, I have not wanted to be a vet. It cured me miraculously. I was like, oh, it's not just snuggling dogs and giving them pills. It's not just giving cats shots. That was pretty nasty. It was pretty nasty. Lamina. That's what I think it is. Human fingernails give me secondhand pain. Yeah, the lamina. That's what it is. It just grosses me out and totally gives me the willies when I see pictures of it. I'm like, meh. Um, I'm not happy with the way this eye is going over here. It looks okay on camera, so we're not going to judge it yet. We're going to withhold judgment right now. So yeah, the grossest ones I've seen are on Prince Fluffy Kareem. Some of them I can't even look at. And then until you get to the after picture, sometimes after I see the after picture, then I can go back and look at the before pictures when I know what it's going to turn out to be. Why is that getting lumpy? Is that because the paint was drying? Ugh. Painting, Gur's taking shape. I take forever painting, by the way, in case you have not noticed. My son Liam was following someone on TikTok who's done a bunch of stuff like paintings in her room on the walls of her room and stuff. And she was like, yeah, this one took me 4 hours to do, and this one took me 6 hours to do. And like, this is an intricate painting on an entire wall of this girl's room. And she's like, yeah, this took me 4 hours. And I'm like, oh my God, it takes me that long to do this with all the different coats I'm gonna have to do on it and the fixing of it and if I mess up and get frustrated, then I'm gonna have to go back and fix it. It's looking like a gur. Like a gur. I love her. You want to make biscuits? You want to make biscuits? You want to make biscuits? I'm sorry, I could do ridiculous, badly done girl lines all night long. You know what? This year I forgot to watch the Christmas episode for Christmas. That's like my favorite Christmas special. Is the Invader Zim Christmas episode. Okay. Is this coming down straight enough? Are we coming down straight enough to be the robot girl? We've almost got his head painted, you guys. I'm excited. Basically like Velcro on steroids. Uh-oh, hang on. Yeah. I'm gonna lines the coffin bone. Lauren's here. Hey, Lauren, I was like saying earlier that you were talking about a forklift accident with a horse, and I can't even imagine that. So we've gone over a whole bunch of stuff. We talked about Artax's injury and recovery. We've talked about Prince Fluffy Kareem. We've talked about Thrush. We've talked about. I remember when Artax split his head open. That looked pretty gross. And then Zadel was talking about the lamina under the hoof when the hoof capsule gets pulled off. Oh, and we decided early on in the chat that we were going to talk about stories that horses survived. Like, we don't want to get super dark and just be telling stories of, oh, by the way, and then the horse died. Like, that's super downer. We want like gruesome stories where, and then everyone lived. Yay. The lamina, yes. Oh, do you know what else gives me the creeps? It's not an injury, but foal slippers. The little slippery things on the foal's finger. They gross me out. They're gross. They're gross. I decided. I'm almost done with his little face. Okay. Yeah, forklift accident. Was did you say the horse was chased by dogs? Artax was out in the field today. He spent overnight in a stall. He spent the night in a stall, little baby. And when he saw me coming today, he like would not stop whinnying at me, and he wanted to come out. He was done with being in a stall. Girl, please. Paint over this though. That's going to be painted over anyway. Man, there's erasing to be done. I may have to like paint a little background on Homie. And it's going to kind of look like he has mumps because of the way the saddle pad is quilted. He's got a little mumpiness happening. I can fix it later. I can fix it later. It doesn't have to be perfect right now. It does not have to be perfect right now. There we go. Should I paint his little body on? Yeah. Go ahead. I'm going to go over that with black so that won't be connected later. And then his little body can be done not in the not in that square part in the middle. Oh, and I did it a little wrong. It should be. Right. The forklift horse lived. That's crazy that it lived. What is with the forklift? Oh, Marika, we're talking about really gruesome horse accidents, horse injuries, but where the horse lived, and the horse ran into a forklift, the ends of a forklift. That is pretty insane. I've always kind of worried about that. when I used to do stalls at the carriage tours, and you have to, use the forklift to dump poop into the dumpster, it always freaked me out. And I'm like, as accident prone as I am. Oh, and by the way, if you just joined us, you missed me flipping an entire palette full of gray paint all over my chair and somewhere down. Oh yeah, it's splattered all over the wall behind me, because I'm a complete disaster. So I that's my life. That's how I'm living my life today. I probably shouldn't be allowed around things. I'm probably bad luck right now. Poor Artax. What if my bad luck is why I got hurt? That would no. Okay. This is his little foot. Dr. Myron, my vet, was also telling me, Lauren, since we're talking about gruesome horse injuries, we are. He was telling me that enucleation, which is the technical name for eye removal, enucleation is his most common minor surgery. Um, that he does them a lot. Horses have their eyes exactly on the sides of their heads, so it's easy for them to injure this part of themselves. And the treatment, like, can be even attempting the treatment is extremely expensive, extremely costly, extremely time consuming, and it's difficult to make the horse understand and comply with treatment. Like with a human who's undergoing recovery for an eye condition, you can explain to them that the pain will be over eventually, that no, you can't scratch that, no, you can't pull at that. Horses don't understand what they're going through. They only know this is my life right now, and it's not right. So they fight treatment a lot of times. They fight you, they get mad and they resent you putting medicine in their eye. They try to pull out their stitches, they try to pull out drain tubes. This is part of the problem with treating um, horses, is because they'll re-injure themselves or just um, just be an absolute mess because they're horses. All right, I lost track of what I'm saying. And even though this is not wine, I'm going to drink. Huh. So Lawrence says, one of my professors in vet tech school said her weirdest surgery was removing the eye of a cow. Kept looking at her with the other eye and mooing. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Yes. It's a cow. Oh my gosh. Sweet little cow. Yeah, our text was kind of a mess. He couldn't look really, he couldn't focus. He was too sedated to really focus on anything. I put my arms around his neck and he just kind of laid, like, the weight of his neck and his head. He let it lay in my arms, and he's a horse, so it's like so heavy. And I'm like, really, sir? But of course I loved it because he's my baby and I could be there for him. I could be there for my baby. Um, Yeah, oh my god, and the amount of blood that came out of him. That's another thing too. One of the things that was really gross about the eye surgery was the amount of blood that pooled underneath his head. And then because it starts clotting, it looks like big tissuey clots, almost like menstrual tissue. Um, but it just made a big sort of puddle of pudding. It was so nasty. And then, of course, I got the dubious honor of washing that off the concrete with the hose. Oh, and then the hose, like the attachment to the hose had broken. The hose used to have this, um, the hose used to have this thing on it where you can, change the spray. And they had this one that's like a really hard super shooter spray. Well, okay, it's broken. So it just sort of dribbles out. So I'm on the concrete with these big chunks trying to wash it off the end of the concrete, and it just didn't want to go. And I am trying not to cry, and I'm trying not to barf, and I'm trying not to pass out. Why even are horses These are times where I'm like, really, I'm a horse owner, and this is what I signed up for this. I signed up for this. This is what I was like, yeah, I this is what I want to do with my life. Sure. Okay. I have just about got my first layer of gray laid down here. The first of my not 50 shades, but gray. Oh, I have to do the arms too, don't I? Darn. All right. I didn't miss a story in the chat, did I? Somebody didn't lay one on us, like a really good one. And then we went past it, and I was like, herder. Okay. Just about got us a one layer on. Let me do the little arms. Let me do his little arms, dude. Anyway. Y'all, I just went to look what time it is. This is how precious I am. Okay, I went to look at what time it is. Can you see up in the corner of my phone where it says 7:10? It says 7:10 p.m. because this is a screenshot that I took of this picture earlier on my phone. Like, what time is it? 7:10 p.m. What the what? Look at the real time. I probably shouldn't be allowed out among regular human beings. I okay, I probably should have switched paintbrushes also because this paintbrush is not really for this smaller area. Okay. Okay. Oh my God, there's like a hair on the brush. It's not a teal hair either. Whose hair is that? See, at my house, we always know whose hair is whose. I'm like, oh my God, there's a hair in my food. Oh, wait, it's teal. Never mind. Okay, my Invader Sim Saddlebag. Clydesdale that had canker in all four of his feet had surgery and he made it. Oh my gosh. So when my horse had a UTI because of her conformation, we had to put her a heavy medicine, took her off because the horse was the most gentle. Oh, dangerous trying to administer. Yeah, see, sometimes getting the medicine in them is worse than not. They'll fight it because they don't know. They don't know what you're doing. You don't speak horse, really. You understand them, but they don't really understand you because they have a brain the size of a tangerine. Okay, should I think I'm just gonna wait and do the darker gray right there. But I have one coat on my grr. On my grr. On my grr. Sorry. All right, do I want to add more gray? I don't like those little gummy things. All right, that's got to dry. I've got to find that paint and clean it up. I may end the live stream just a minute early or so, a few minutes early tonight just because look, I've got paint all down on my chair. I don't know if you can see it. Here's right here. I've got paint streaks on my chair. I'm just so special. Hang on, let me get back here in the chat. Canker's autoimmune disease attacks the frog. Yes. Marika, what happened with Artax? I went out to the pad, tried to do the short. I went out to the pasture and his eye had been injured on what we don't know. The fences are always like this property is checked regularly. He's out in a pasture 24/7. It doesn't look like a kick because his face wasn't shattered or anything, but his eyeball was close to rupturing. It had sustained some sort of serious injury. And I called my vet immediately. He was out in 15 minutes, which never happens. I was so hopeful, but he took one look at it and he was like, okay, I'm not sure. He talked me through all treatment options. And he said, as bad as it looks, he said, I recommend just removing it. And so we did. Artax was in so much pain. He just did it right then. I cried. My vet got to see my entire emotional reaction. Like all my guilt, all my sadness, all my shock, all my everything was just coming out of my face holes. My poor vet, he was so kind to me. But yeah, we sedated Artax and we just did it. And before I knew it, it was gone. It was pretty gross too. I didn't watch the surgery like I did with Sunny because I have another horse, Sunny, who has one eye. And a couple of years ago, he had an injury and it was a little bit different. That was a scratch on his cornea, and we tried to medicate it. I went out to the barn like 4 times a day to put medicine in his eye. But despite my efforts, it got infected and we had to remove the eye. So this is now I have 2 one-eyed horses. If you're on Instagram, I don't know if you follow me on Instagram, there should be a link in the description box, but I posted pictures of the injury and right before and after surgery on Instagram and on Facebook. You can click the links down there. And if you want to see gross pictures, because it's like gross, open, weepy eye and stuff. There was so much stuff coming out of his eye at first that I thought his eyeball had ruptured already, and I was just watching his eye ooze down his face. It was extreme. Mm. And I was so naive. I was like, I'm going out there yesterday, put up my bridles and everything, and I'm like, well, I'm just gonna go for a quick ride. And then I saw him, and I was like, when I saw him, I didn't see it really well at first, but then he moved, and I could see the eye in the sunlight, like the sunlight hit his eye, and like the whole surface of his eye looked like cracked glass. It looked like something had hit glass that had shattered. Um, and he was obviously hurting. I found him in the back paddock. I went to go look for him, and he was in the very back paddock with his head down. And he's never alone. Like he's very social, and or he's always into the food or whatever. But he was in the back of the paddock by himself with his head down. It hurt. Um, my precious baby. So he's recovering. He's outside now. He was on stall rest one night, and I'm gonna go ahead and put up my stuff while I'm talking to y'all. He was on stall rest one night, and the vet said he'd be fine to be outside. So right now he's in a little paddock outside by himself. So he's got his water and he gets his food and he's getting his medicine. He's on antibiotics and bute. He's on painkiller. Um, and if I remember correctly from Sunny, within a couple of days, all of the swelling in his eye should go down. And then we wait for it to just completely heal up. Um, I've been so sad about it. My sweet, beautiful unicorn. But gonna have to head out. Oh, bye, Joanna. Thank you for showing up tonight. Yeah, anyway, so that is what happened with Artax. So if you showed up late in the live stream, yes, my horse yesterday suffered a catastrophic injury to his right eye and had to have it removed. So I had a really bad day yesterday. Today was a live stream was supposed to be about making patterns and how to measure and draw out and take things apart for patterns, all different kinds of ways to make your own patterns for things like saddle pads. So, but that took a lot of prep. And after the day I had yesterday, didn't have it in me. So we painted tonight and we talked about gruesome horse injuries. You can always scroll back through the chat if you want to see some of the stories. So I'm going to end this a couple of minutes early. Poor baby Artax. I know. And he's just so precious and sweet. He was so good for the vet. He always is. I love him so much. He was so spooky too today when I first brought him out. Because everything looks different. Tomorrow I'm going out there again, right before I go. Tomorrow I'm going out there again, and I'm gonna just check him, make sure he's still okay. God, hopefully he hasn't like busted it open, and I have to call the vet again. But if he's fine, I'm gonna take him for a walk all around the property. We're gonna walk all around the arena. We're gonna walk all around the round pen. We're gonna go back into the woods on the trails. We're gonna walk through the barn, walk up to the front of the property. We're going to go everywhere so he can see what it looks like now. Okay. Thank you for joining me in the live stream tonight, you guys, for painting my saddle pad. Obviously, I'm not finished, but when I get it finished, I will post pictures on Instagram and on Facebook. So follow me all those places if you want. And thank you again for showing up and sharing your stories. See you guys next week. Bye.